But I think Marvel
Yeah.
Avengers is a piece of crap.
Yeah, of course.
Oh really? I thought you disagreed with me.
I don't, I'm not disagreeing with you. I know it's a piece of crap, but like that's the nature of what it was made for.
Oh okay. Like I
It
don't
was
know.
made to be something that people like, the a broad mainstream audience likes, and it was made for that purpose. And like in that way, it is good for what it's doing.
Actually, I disagree with that. I don't think it goes with the hero's journey. Like you don't
Well,
know who the Chitauri are. It
well,
doesn't fulfill the hero's journey requirements by Joseph Campbell correctly.
yeah, but it's not meant to, and it's not supposed to, and it's not necessarily doesn't necessarily have to do that. Like it's just I don't know if that's just you imposing your value upon like what it should be doing, but like it might not be good to your taste, but it's good for the taste of the people. I think everything is relative towards who your audience is and what you're making it for. You know.
I don't know. It's just very weird. Like we want to consider film and art and all this stuff, but like
Hmm.
at the same time, you're not reinventing. I don't know. I guess you
And
could
not
say it's
everything's supposed to reinvent everything every single time.
but like there's certain definitions for certain aspects of scripts or whatever, and I don't feel like Avengers is fulfilling that.
Mm-hmm. So
Like it
there's
doesn't it
definitions
doesn't
of
fill the definition of a climax, so it's not really a film because it's not fulfilling its requirements.
why does it even need to fulfill these requirements? I don't even know which requirements you're talking about or like
Like
why
you need like
these requirements
like
are
in Red Letter
required.
Media's review of the Phantom Menace, like they say you need to know who the bad guy is or something like that. You need a straightforward explanation of who the bad guy is in the film. Like when Darth Vader attacks people and chokes them out and stuff.
Yeah, well, that whole review of the Phantom Menace is like a criticism of the fact that it's a prequel to a series that was highly regarded as one of the greatest film series of all time, and then it's a mere reaction to this expectation that this follow-up is supposed to live up to a certain kind of standard, but it's only when you have this expectation that you even have this. So you wouldn't expect a similar kind of thing from something that's not Star Wars, would you?
The thing is, like, that's the thing. Avengers was highly rated. Thor got 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't have Stars fallen so much that this is acceptable now?
Uh, okay, you're saying a lot of things.
Yeah,
You're saying that like things have gone downhill.
yeah,
You're saying that this is accept. Why have things gotten so bad that this is acceptable
yeah,
and stuff like that?
yeah.
So why does that even matter? Like that. Okay, by what definition has it fallen? And what exactly is the implications of things like this slipping of standards, so to speak? Like what exactly what's so bad about that, or like what exactly will this result in worse films, or like will this result in like degradation of human society and Western civilization or anything like that? What do you even mean by that? Like what's so important about Avengers like being this like mainstay or like linchpin moment in Western society where like everything's going downhill from this point on. Like I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like we're spending billions of dollars on stuff that's like low quality stuff. Like it's like the Walmarting
Mhm.
of like movies.
Mhm.
Not that Walmart's necessarily bad all the time, but you get
Mhm.
what I'm saying, right?
Okay, so it's like this mass media culture, uh, like the Hayao Miyazaki analogy of like how planes were in this era where people were doing it for a novelty value, but now it's like reached the jumbo jet airline era, where like it's for mainstream production and mainstream value. So like that happens to every single genre of business and in terms of scalability and in a way that's kind of yeah. I guess a lot of people think that's bad in a lot of ways, but you gotta also mix that with like how that's good. It's making it more accessible. It's more for everyone, something for everybody. Um, Although like maybe the quality and standards go down because you can't scale it as easily for like more people, but like at the same time it reaches a larger audience. It it spreads like this kind of like commercial product to like this like larger scale of human society. And like now like with population growth, like there's 11, we're gonna have like 10 billion, 11 billion people. Like we need to have things that scale up to these things, and as a result there's gonna be a lowering of quality. But maybe this is just a step towards like improving quality for larger scales of people, larger businesses, larger media. You know, that's how I. Maybe that's how it is. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head.
Here's what's off the top of my head.
Hmm.
Um, you would like to buy a car, right?
What?
You would like to buy a car.
Nowadays more millennials don't like to buy cars, so I sort of fall.
Oh, okay.
I sort of
Let's.
fall under that because like now everybody's urbanizing
But
and
you would
falling into
like,
cities and public
if you were a
transportation.
great driver, you would like to drive from Long Island, Riverside to Long Island, and travel all over
Yeah,
the place.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What if this car that is mass produced and the cheapest
Mhm.
and the standard for cars
Mhm.
could, well, it's probably a bad example for you, but let's say for other people, it only played Friday.
It only played Friday.
It only played Friday, and that was the song you hated the most.
Oh, you mean the car only played the song Rebecca Black's Friday,
Yes.
and that's the only thing. Huh.
Like, I know you like Friday, but let's say other people don't like Friday,
Okay.
and it's
Okay,
a,
that'd be pretty bad, I guess. But
yeah.
at the same time, it still gets what I want done, and I guess there might be some sort of trade-off, and like maybe like I don't know what the hypothetical scenario this is exactly, where this is some nightmare world where
Yeah.
the only car I can afford is Friday. Maybe that's the only thing that makes the car affordable to me,
Yeah.
and like affordable to like billions of people out there. Like in order to reach scalability, you have to have some Friday in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the Avengers is like
Mhm.
is not only the same standard and
Mhm.
the same price and the same quality
Mhm.
ticket price
Uh-huh.
as everything else. Like, you can
Uh-huh.
pay more for 3D prices for the
Mhm.
ticket.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
isn't that something weird?
What's so weird about it? I don't know.
Like,
It plays in more theaters, I guess.
well,
So
it
like it
makes so
reaches
much
more people.
money,
Yeah.
even though like
Mhm.
it's basically tricking people into it's like what Jonathan Blow was saying
Mhm.
with was it World of Warcraft or what?
I
Was
guess it was World of Warcraft and Farmville he was saying. So are you saying this argument that like it's
it's immoral?
it's amoral because
Yeah,
it's exploiting people's for their money?
yeah.
Well, okay. So what if the net result actually of people watching Avengers is that millions of people actually get to have a nice night out with like some people or like by themselves, have this nice rollicking adventure, and it like gives them something to do for their evenings or their days or whatever, and it's this enjoyable experience, and it's something to talk about at the water cooler, and like it eases like the burden of life a little bit. Like that I feel like that's definitely the main effect of the Avengers. Like I don't know, like what's the negative result of the Avengers really? Like could you say that, and could you say if there is a negative result, how that outweigh could that possibly outweigh the good results from it?
I feel like I don't know. Like, I understand you're a Jonathan Blow fan, so that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, I feel like films like
Mhm.
maybe it's like taking Blood Vengeance where they're playing around with the script and they're actually making it somewhat a different kind of cinema by
Mhm.
taking these risks and completely redefining how they work around the script.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like I didn't get that from Avengers. I felt like it was very average at best,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it didn't really do much for me.
Okay. So is that a bad thing? Like how is that a bad thing for society?
Well, I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's a media perception. Maybe it's a marketing ploy. Maybe like I
Okay,
don't know.
explain
It
those.
sort of could be like everybody's smoking cigarettes or everybody's doing drugs. Like, does that mean it's a good idea?
Maybe not. So are you saying Avengers is the cigarettes or drugs of film?
Yes.
Okay, how so?
It was really addictive. Like
Uh-huh.
it made $1 billion,
So what's
and
the
it was
adverse what's the
and it's bad
adverse
for your brain.
effects? Is it bad for your brain?
Like, it doesn't make you use your logic skills like you would for a very complex video game or something like
Maybe a lot of people don't.
Braid.
Maybe a lot of people don't want to do that kind of stuff, and like,
I
maybe
understand.
as a result, like, okay, so like, if you're gonna bring up Braid, then I'll indulge you this.
Okay.
If you're gonna bring up Braid,
Yeah.
I understand. Even though Braid is like, I view it as a very good game, and for lots of different reasons, I also understand that it's not something that's supposed to have mainstream appeal that you can actually sell in big box retailers and like sell it for like $60 a copy and stuff like that.
What can you sell for $60 a copy?
You really can't. Like it's like Criterion Collection. I can't sell
Criterion
Criterion
Collection
Collection.
is very high priced.
It is. I guess it is high priced, but at the same time, you can't like have it like in a Walmart, like at like the checkout counter, like for $10 on a DVD. Like Criterion Collection is like something that appeals to a niche audience
They've
that
actually
is willing to pay more for like this kind of like perceived quality, and I don't know, you can't really say objectively like quality as like something like in the world as like this net positive effect, but like um I don't know, that's the whole thing to get into, but like
there are actually
it's a
times
different kind of thing, you know? Like do you know understand what I mean? Like
there are actually times when people buy Criterion Collection from Best Buy or
that's true.
Costco though.
That's true. Best Buy or Costco. Well, those are like slightly more high end than like Walmart or Target. Like Costco is more high end.
Best Buy used to
Best
be,
Buy,
not so much.
yeah. Best Buy is like specializing in entertainment now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Similar now.
okay, so but at the same time, they still take up less shelf space than like the latest big blockbuster release and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's meant for this broader audience. So I'm not gonna try and say like Bioshock Infinite is okay. Maybe I'm not gonna say Bioshock Infinite. Maybe like what's a big mainstream game? Call of Duty. I'm not gonna say Call of Duty is worse than Braid and for. I guess I'm arguing like, is there any immoral effect rather than like quality and which is a personal thing. Here, this is the line that I'm drawing.
Okay.
There's a difference between this thing is immoral for what it's doing to people versus this media versus like this media is uh, is like just poor quality, and personally I don't like it, and it's not like my personal taste, but like I actually like something with a little more like I don't know, depth, or not necessarily depth, but like something that appeals to me more about it. So I think Avengers, like even though it fails for me in the sense that like I don't quite like see it as like something that's like fine art, it's still at the same time like something that I don't think is like immoral really. And like that's like saying like this painting by Monet is like great aesthetic value, I personally like it, versus like it somehow like makes like a Thomas Kincaid painting like immoral, like or something like that. Like these mainstream like art prints at like a museum like shop or whatever. Like that has its own value and this has its own value. I don't know where it gets into the moral question really. Like, but when Jonathan Blow was talking about Farmville and World of Warcraft, was talking about it as a moral question because of like how it like was addictive and like you could spend like hours and hours upon it, and like it actually like detracts from a person's life value, and like feels like Farmville targets whale, something they call whales big spenders in it, so like people spend thousands of dollars and like tons of time on it, hours upon hundreds of hours. Same with World of Warcraft, except not necessarily like whale spending, but like subscriber based spending and like uh, uh, just amount of time invested into World of Warcraft is like immoral. So I feel like that's a different question than like something like a game like Call of Duty, which is like 10-hour experience or whatever. Although like okay, if you get into the multiplayer stuff, that's a whole thing. Maybe I feel more strongly about that. But like Avengers itself is like only a 2-hour experience. If you don't like it, then you only wasted 2 hours, and it's different. Like I don't know if it's making. I don't really feel like you're gonna get dumber just for watching Avengers for 2 hours or whatever, or
I
like take away from society. Okay, that's all I have to say.
I don't want to get too into it.
Mhm.
I'll get into it later on, but I
Okay.
feel like there's definitely a bit
Sure.
of a problem with it.
There's ants. Oh my god, there's flies.
Oh wow.
I guess that was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I have things.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, you do that while I talk to them.
Alright.
Okay. So the point I wanted to make was Avengers is a bit of an addictive problem. Like, there's the video games, there's the comic books, there's a whole bunch of synergy and marketing ploys in addition to just marketing for the movie that people have hooked onto with Avengers. It is sort of like a Farmville or World of Warcraft type of scenario. Like, people have Avengers birthday cakes and weddings and a whole bunch of things, and they even have a Facebook game. Like, it's pretty crazy, and it takes a lot of time, and people are like telling their children that they should watch this movie that they thought was so good also, which it really isn't, and they pay attention at all.
Yeah. Okay, the mass media, like, culture, like costumes, birthday parties, weddings, stuff like that.
It's really addictive, like,
Mhm.
and and
Mhm.
and not to mention, like, there's like the really hardcore fans that are like, no, like this is the best movie ever. If you say so, if you say it isn't, then I don't want to say anything terrible.
So, but like to these people, it is a good movie. So what's so bad about that?
I wish they were more open as to like the definitions as to why it's a bad movie, and possibly respect their opinion, other people's opinions about it.
That's just the
Especially since they
nature.
have good definitions.
That's just the nature of people, though. Like some people when they watch
Should
a
we
movie.
should we have a better nature for people?
I guess we should, but like, what's so? Is there anything so bad about somebody who's like, I watched the movie, I liked it, my kid liked it, I'm gonna get them something for them to make them happy. Like, is that something so bad?
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
what's so bad about
yeah,
that?
I remember. There was this like family we met on the subway once,
Mhm.
and they really enjoyed some movie. I don't know if it was Avengers or something, but they
Mhm.
enjoyed it. I didn't personally like it, but
Mhm.
like they seemed to have a good time and they bonded
Yeah.
as a family. And that was
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? Like, that's what you're weighing it against. But like,
It's not like anybody
what's?
gets hurt like in sports,
Yeah, exactly.
and it produces jobs.
Yeah, it does. And it gives people a good time and they have a fun experience about it. So, I don't know, what exactly about it, people liking it, is like the problem then exactly?
I guess it's the trolls mainly that I'm
Internet
worried about.
trolls?
Yeah, internet trolls.
You just gotta forget about them.
Pretty much. I just I don't know. Like, I guess the internet community is not as big as I hope it is. Maybe, but
Well
they're
then even then, like, you're finding these people tend to float around like these mainstream media kind of like internet outlets, right?
yeah.
So you need to find like a media out forum or like place where people can comment where like that have more similar interests to you then, right? Is that would you say that makes sense? Like or like I don't know, like these people are on these forums that are like usually maybe like teens or something and like they
They're
like
turning into
stuff
adults now, though,
turning into adults now though?
and
Well,
they have ego, and they think they know film, but they really don't.
so like I don't know how that's Avengers' fault really. You know, that's
That's a lot of things' fault, really.
right, right? Like it's a more complicated issue than like Avengers being a bad movie, like or like a mainstream movie. I don't know if it's bad, but like
I guess it could be an issue about people not having a film vocabulary or a film literacy.
uh-huh. Well, I don't know, not everybody has to have a film vocabulary literacy. Maybe they just want to enjoy a movie and just have fun with it. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, like, we have English class, and we
mhm.
get to learn about theme and all that interesting stuff about books.
A lot of people are bored by that stuff too.
Yeah, but it's good to know if you want to become a very good talent.
For what though?
For a writer?
Good
Or?
for what though? You know, like is it good
I
for?
guess so. Like
I mean, it always depends on who it's for. You know.
another issue is that liberal arts has gone downhill, and I don't know. I think it's going to get even more downhill in the future. Like I feel like we're going to just get rid of English in the future, and then maybe have something else.
And a lot of that is because of movies.
Yeah.
And pop music and
pop music
iPhones
with
and
pop music without magazines say Friday's the
Facebook
worst movie ever.
and Facebook and Instagram.
There's
And
no
stuff
Roger
like that.
Ebert for like music criticism, at least not that I'm aware of.
Huh. I guess not. Music has been, I think, okay, if you're getting into pop music is very,
We should probably get into that another time.
yeah, like, it's a whole thing, like,
Yeah.
it's mainstream media. It's even, like, more short attention span than, like, a movie is.
Yeah.
And more like potato chippy, but, like, okay, we'll get into that sometime. So, like, movies,
I was gonna get into Rob Agran's analysis of Marilyn Manson and stuff.
oh, man. I don't know if I want to hear that. But do you really feel like you want to bring that up?
No.
Okay. So, what exactly... So, how do you feel about Avengers now? Do you feel different about it? Like,
A little bit, yeah.
what's so bad about it? It does have, like, a lot of net.
I mean, this is my stance on it. Like,
yeah.
Mainly try to be respectful about other people's opinions, especially since, like, I feel like I definitely have a valid opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I'll get mobbed by people who really like Avengers.
Yeah. Like,
because it's like the prom queen or whatever. You just want it on your side.
Yeah. And my stance on it is like, not everything is supposed to advance the medium forward. Some of them are just meant to be entertainment for the masses, and it's good to have that for a lot of people because a lot of people need that kind of entertainment in their lives.
Yeah, I think another thing that I want to talk about, but I'll leave for a separate time, is the effect journalism had on Avengers. Like, some of it praised as the best film of the year, and like